How's it going, guys? After a long time, I'm back again with another review. Finally, something not Goku related. Big surprise, right? And today, obviously, we are going to get into the BWFC Ban Presto World Figure Coliseum Cell. So here's the box. Front cover is Cell. And this is an interesting one, so I've got some opinions about it. So obviously this figure is from the BWFC series, and if you collect the BWFC series, you know that it is individually made. Every single figure is individually made by a separate individual sculptor. So as you can see here, this is sculpted by a gentleman named Eric Sosa from the United States of America. Very interesting. As you can see, that's the front. Now let's get into the figure itself. So this is a very different take on Cell, and I also find it not that coincidental that this figure is sculpted by somebody from America, because the first thing I thought of when I saw this a couple of years ago, because this is a re-release. This figure is 5 years old now at the time of this recording. At the time when this figure was first announced, I remember myself and a lot of other people not liking this figure, the way it looked. Because to be honest with you, do you guys ever go on Google or like Instagram and you see those super duper like those actualizations, those real life looking versions of Dragon Ball Z characters, or superhero American comic-esque looking versions of Dragon Ball characters? I always have hated those. I hate when people do art like that of Dragon Ball, because it doesn't look like Dragon Ball to me at all. It doesn't look good. You're literally taking the magic and the appeal of the series style. I understand when people make their own styles of stuff, but Dragon Ball just does not look good when you make it look like a superhero movie or make it look real life. I'm sure all of the fans and anybody watching this video has probably seen once or twice in their life the actualized versions of Dragon Ball Z characters. So when I first saw this figure, I despised it because it reminded me of that. And of course, it is it's a unique take on Cell, because of course Cell does look like this, but Cell does not look this realistic, this chiseled. Of course, anybody who's watched Dragon Ball Z, you know what Cell actually looks like. This version of Cell looks more like what he would look like if he was in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or something, where there is a lot more detail added. But this is something that is unique to BWFC, because every single figure has a different, unique style of the characters. So, like, there is a second form Frieza that you guys should check out that I actually really don't like, but it's a very muscular, very detailed, realistic looking version of second form Frieza. And with this series, like I said, every single version you're going to get something different. You might get something that looks extremely faithful to the series. You might get something that's taking liberties, so to speak, with the design. So, as you can see, like I said, very unique, very distinct looking. And as I mentioned earlier, when I first saw this, I did hate this figure. But for some reason, this time around with the re-release, it has kind of grown on me. And I mean, look, even the toes are like separated. Cell's feet do not look like they have toes in Dragon Ball Z. They look like just plain old boots. And as you can see, very nice pose. Very great pose. Of course, very menacing. I think that's what Mr. Sosa was going for. And of course, even the texture and the look of the paint job on the wings are very kind of glossy. It has a little bit of sheen, a little bit of shine to it, which is very unique. But my favorite aspect of this figure is the brain. If you can see right there, you can see Cell's brain, which is the most unique, makes it the most unique Cell figure I have ever seen. There has never ever been a Cell figure with his brain showing. I mean, look at that. This is a better way of looking at it. You can see it with the light. He has a brain. I mean, his dad is Dr. Giro, and Dr. Giro was raw dogging it, had his brain out all the time, but this takes it to a literal sense of him imitating, you know, his creator. But that is by far, I really wonder what he was thinking and what made him choose to insert that neat little detail there, because that's never been done before. It hasn't been done since, honestly. So I would like to see, you know, more type of more features like that in other figures, because it makes this figure very unique compared to other figures. For example, right, if you know, they make 1,000,001 Goku figures. If they add a difference to Goku, like take for instance the Mega House Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The Super Saiyan 4 actually has actual fur as opposed to texturized paint. More features like that is gonna reel people in to buy more, as opposed to looking and saying, wow, that's another Goku figure, that's another Cell figure, I am not gonna get it. So that is definitely the biggest plus of this figure. And it's a good height. It's about 7 to 7.5 inches. For comparison, we have the Rising Fighters Goku. This is a more recent release, or Burning Fighters Goku, excuse me. Here's a comparison. So it kind of scales kind of well to this figure. Even though these two figures are from completely different lines, it scales kind of well. So that's for comparison's sake. So I would give this figure honestly maybe like a 7 out of 10, but the truth is I might have to give it something higher, and that's only because for some reason Bandai, the companies in charge of making Dragon Ball figures, for some reason do not like Cell. There is not that many Cell figures. There are plenty of Frieza figures out there, but there are barely any Cell figures. If I can recall, the most recent one and the best one is the Ichiban Kuji Omnibus Cell, which is probably the best Cell ever made, but also one of the most expensive. And this is the last one since then, I believe. I mean, there's a WCF one, but that was years ago. And then there's that terrible, terrible second form Cell that gets bootlegged everywhere. I'm sure you guys have seen that one. I believe that one is part of the BWFC series as well. No, actually, I think that one is from a different series. It's an older one. But that proves my point that they don't make that many Cell figures. And you know, he has one of the most interesting designs, and also one of the hardest to draw and replicate, I guess, because of the spots and all the different details. But that's just laziness right there. They can be making plenty of great Cell figures, but instead they choose to recycle the same characters over and over. So that makes this a plus. So you guys tell me in the comments section what you guys think of this figure. Right now, currently, this figure is being resold. This is a resale. Like I said, this figure came out 5 years ago, and it's everywhere now for some reason. It's in every store, so you can go to probably a GameStop, or probably your local anime store, or maybe even Box Lunch or Hot Topic, and possibly find this figure. Because I've been seeing it everywhere. So yeah, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section below of this Cell figure. One last shot of the brain. Peace.